Poppy, a little ding kind of goes off in your ears as you're in a cramped, confined space. There's a bunch of computer lights in front of your face, shining on your face, illuminating it. There's a roaring sound. And all around you is a deep, vast ocean. And you're piloting a tiny little white and yellow and metallic submarine that's talking to you. And you're piloting this submarine down through the deep Jadam Sea looking for treasure.
Yes.
You go past a bunch of weird fish-looking creatures. They move out of the way. All kind of bubbles are going up. There's all kind of little seaweeds flying about. You see the wreck of the ship that you've been looking for. It comes over the hill like a ghost. All kind of weird mosses and underwater algae and stuff growing on it. Mr. Shiny goes,
Are you sure you're entirely waterproof?
A drop of water goes bloop on your head.
Just my hat.
You adjust your hat. All right. You pilot Mr. Shiny down through the submarine, through the water. There's this giant crab. He goes. He gets out of the way, and you see the wreck. Now the captain told you that the treasure should be in the main cargo hold. You see there's a huge puncture mark on the side of the ship, a huge explosion where the Crimson Moon pirates might have taken it down, or they may have run aground. You're not sure how this ship sank, but you're here to get the treasure. All right, you pilot the submarine closer. It takes a little bit of finagling to get through the side of the ship. There's a bit of a crunching wood as you puncture the submarine through. Kind of scratches the side of the submarine. You puncture it through. Mr. Shiny goes.
Easy, man. Don't. I can't breathe underwater. Let's keep that in mind.
Okay, you get closer to and you see the treasure you've been looking for. There's a treasure chest and it's busted open, and all these gold coins are gleaming in the two very bright headlights of the submarine.
Fabulous.
All right, these two arms go clunk and hang on to the treasure chest. They pull it in, ka-chunk, and they set it against the submarine. Mr. Shiny goes beep beep.
Great. Okay, let's make sure he hasn't missed any.
Okay, you stand up, you look around. You don't see anything. You just see little crabs and fish. You see a skeleton there, kind of waving the breeze. It's wearing a patch and it's got like a bandana on its head. Otherwise, just a skeleton like this. Its mouth agape.
Okay, that makes me want to urge Shiny to get out of the water.
Okay, Mr. Shiny goes. Okay, Mr. Shiny pulls out. You pull out. All of a sudden, you feel this, and the whole thing shakes. You turn, you look around. The lights go. You see the giant eye of a kraken.
Mad, not a kraken.
Not a kraken. Anything, but it could have been Godzilla. It could have been King Kong, but it's a kraken. Oh no. Okay, Mr. Shiny goes. You're gonna have to punch it on the engines. Roll coordination.
Success.
All right. You hit the gas. You crash through the side of the ship. The whole old ship kind of falls, pinning the half of the kraken there. Half its tentacles are going coming out at you. You could swear the one beady eye is looking at you like, I'm going to get you if you come back into my water. And you pilot Mr. Shiny up towards the beautiful light coming out from the lighter blues of the top of the ocean, of the Jadam Sea. You can feel this clunk, 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 kind of on the back. The kraken is reaching up with its long, long tentacles. The Jadam Sea is usually a very shallow sea. It's only like a few 100 feet deep here, and the kraken has got very long tentacles. It's kind of batting you as you're trying to fly or swim, pilot, whatever submarines do. What do they do? Pilot your way to the surface. Mr. Shiny goes.
That's good, right?
You see all these exclamation marks. Beep, 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 beep.
Yep, I'm excited too. Go, Shiny!
On the dashboard. Beep, beep, okay, more water goes beep, 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 beep on your face.
No.
You hear groaning as the Kraken's kind of just playing with you as you're trying to get out of its grasp. Finally, you punch it. You kind of rock back in your seat, and the submarine goes flying through the water. And you come out into the beautiful azure sky of the Gideon Sea area. There's a giant yellow sun with a tiny mini sun beside it, shining down on you from above. And you see just 20 degrees to off your starboard bow, which is the right side, is
totally knew that.
Yeah. Just like port is left. Port is 4 letters and left is 4 letters. That's how I remember it. Port is left.
25 memory.
Okay, you pilot the submarine up. You see people waving you on top of the ship. Okay, they throw down. They have like a little kind of platform down. You kind of you pilot the submarine up to that, and you open up the hatch. Beautiful, a little more salt water kind of hits your face. You taste the salt of it, but the beautiful breeze and the always nice, perfect, warm temperature of the Gideon Sea area washes over you as you step out. Your boots clack on the wood. Clack, clack.
I'm working with these people, correct?
Of course.
Okay.
Okay, you see 2 arms come up, go put down the treasure chest. You see some roughnecks come down. They go, you made a good haul this time, Poppy. Okay, they come out and they grab the treasure and they start put a net around it, a rope net. They start carrying it up.
So about my cut?
They say, get your ass back on the ship.
Okay.
You've been working with these. Someone might call them pirates. You would call them
entrepreneurs.
Others would call them smugglers. You would call them entrepreneurs. But right now you're doing salvage, and that's perfectly legal. And there's nothing too untoward about that, except for some people see you robbing the corpses of the dead. You know, it's kind of a he said, she said kind of a thing.
They're dead. They're not using it.
Indeed. I mean, you saw the skeleton. He was like, go ahead, take it. At least you're sure that's what he said. Okay, you climb up the rope ladder, and you realize the submarine's still down there.
Okay, I look over. Shiny, come on.
Okay, the submarine goes, explodes out of the water and goes, and shifts into a robot. He lands on the platform. He goes, wipes some of the water off himself. Okay, he goes, rockets come off his boots. He goes, flying up, and he goes, boom. He lands on the ship just before you climb up. He sticks his arm out.
Okay, I take it. I come up.
You take it. He pulls you onto the ship. Goes, doo-doo. His hand goes, and turns into a hair dryer. Goes, starts hair drying you off. Your hair is like, most you have a few strands sticking up, but most of it's tied up. Goes, starts drying you off.
Thanks. Yep, great. Okay, good.
Okay, you guys, stop it.
Don't ruin my look.
All right. Now that the world is seeing you, why don't you show everyone what Poppy looks like? So this is what Mr. Shiny looks like. He towers over you. He's about 8 or 9 feet tall.
She is about 5'8". Her Gaia skin is attenuated to have like golden tattoos. She has pink golden hair and very steampunky looking. Most of the Median Lands, which is where you're adventuring currently, the Gideon Sea is contained in the Median Lands. Most of it is very steampunk looking as well. So you're in the fashion. Mm-hmm. Mr. Shiny, however, is not. Mr. Shiny is a big robot. And there's not a lot of big robots in the Median Lands. But he's been eating a lot of speeder bikes lately, and the gangplanks are creaking underneath him. He looks down. Ooh. Okay. Maybe you got to cut off on the speeder bikes.
He goes. Ooh.
Okay, right. Did you put some coins where,
Okay, he walks up. He lifts over one of his metal flaps. You see there's some gold coins in there. You can't make a shush sound, so he goes, which sounds more like a foghorn. Okay, Gideon.
Yes.
You have been working as a doctor.
Yep.
On a ship in the Gideon Sea for some time now. You've put out with them a couple times. They claim to be salvagers, but they're mostly smugglers and pirates. You're pretty sure the captain is a low-level ranking officer in the Crimson Moon, which is the local pirate gang, but very low level. And you were sitting on the deck. They were just doing a salvage operation. The new recruits, Shiny and Poppy, were because of their particular skills. Shiny being a robot that can shapeshift into pretty much anything he wants. He turned himself into a submarine, and you guys have been getting like 10 times the amount of salvage you have been previously because of that capability. And they just come back with a haul, and you could have sworn you just noticed. You can't see very well, of course, but you could hear the telltale jinkling of some gold inside of Mr. Shiny's chassis. You were just standing 8 feet or 10 feet away out of your cabin when they came back on board. You came to see if there was any medical injuries to take care of. And you can hear Mr. Shiny and Poppy talking on the deck. You can hear the creaking of the ropes, the creaking of the wood as the ship starts to turn on the sea. They use both sail power here, and they have like kind of steampunk kind of turbines in the back of the ship. It starts shooting out bubbles. The ship kind of turns. It starts to toward south toward the port of Scintilla, which is the major town in the Jadam Sea area. Okay, Mr. Shiny notices you noticing them. He goes, "Baloo."
Yeah, I guess Gideon kind of, in the most, he's not paying attention, obviously, sort of way, kind of like dismissively waves, but is looking in the direction to where he probably has some idea of what they're doing, and is definitely looking at the part of Mr. Shiny's chassis where there are coins.
Listening to.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he can pinpoint pretty well what part of him that is, so he is at least facing towards that area.
Okay, Mr. Shiny goes, well, kind of tries to nonchalantly kind of cover it with his arms. Okay, you can hear the roughnecks and the sailors on the ship. They're like, there's that. They're saying under their breath when they're pulling in some ropes. There's that stinking doctor. He's a weird kind of robot thing too. Yeah, but you seen his head? He's got a whole kind of goat head on his head there. You can hear them gossiping about you. So there's a cigarette out of your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Your goat horns always hit the top of the wood when you're coming out of your cabin because of course it's a ship. It's tiny, and it's difficult for you to move around. Sometimes you've got your cane with you. Mm-hmm. The sailors know very well there's a sword in the air because you've half drawn it a couple times to warn them not to bother you too much. And if they want to get sewed up after one of their fights, then they're going to have to be nice to you.
That is the ideal situation. Is everyone's at least amiable towards each other. But with pirates, I assume that's not always the case. So who knows?
Well, they tend to like their doctor. They don't like anybody else on their ship until they get wounded, and then they're quite happy to know you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they've got quite the repertoire with Gideon here.
And so you've sewed up a couple stab wounds and bullet holes, and you've iced a couple of fat lips and black eyes. It's usually from the sailors fighting amongst themselves.
Weird.
You're wondering if it would be more efficient for them not to kill each other.
I don't know. I mean,
all right, Poppy. You see the strange doctor is there.
Poppy doesn't care so much, but if I clue into Shiny trying to hide the coins.
Yeah, he does.
Shiny, we have to work on your subtleties. Okay.
He turns around. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Can you put them where they don't jingle?
Ooh.
Flush them further in or something? Oh.
Okay, he does. He makes like moves with his body. Plank, 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 plank. You're pretty sure all the sailors are looking at him now, like, what the hell was that? He goes.
Robot stuff.
A big green checkmark hologram comes out.
It's robot stuff. It's fine. Don't worry about
robot.
it. Yeah, Gideon walks over while this robot stuff is happening.
Okay, you walk over to your cane.
Kind of slaps a hand on Shiny's shoulder and says, I'm sure that we're both familiar with robot stuff, and that does seem to be the case. While as knowingly as where someone who cannot see, because Gideon is almost entirely blind, can at least pull the expression of "I know what you're doing." but we're not going to talk about it right now.
Mr. Shiny goes, doo-doo, another green check mark comes out.
If they've been there for any amount of time, Gideon has probably picked out the difference between a good sound and a bad sound from Mr. Shiny.
Yeah, some people have trouble interpreting what Mr. Shiny is saying. You and Poppy always seem to be two who can always understand, or usually understand what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
He says stuff like some of the sailors come up and go, robot, help us with this rope. Oh, never mind. They go on their way. Fine. Never mind. Mr. Shiny goes, doo-doo. He thinks he's done a good job. Doo-doo.
Yeah, he did it.
Good job, Shiny.
Okay. You smell a familiar smell of a pipe, and you hear another clicking on the wood. Two clicking, actually. Click, 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 click. And you kind of roll your eyes, Poppy, as you realize who must be coming up behind you. Mr. Shiny goes, beep, burp.
I was about to say something to Gideon about the coins and, maybe cutting and go.
It's the captain of the
My
ship.
turn.
It's the captain of the ship coming up behind you. Captain Blynk.
Blynk?
Blynk. His first name is Aches. Captain Aches Blynk. He goes, arr. So you found us or your treasure, did ya? Okay, Captain Blynk is something of a stereotype. Wanting to be seen probably by the Crimson Moon as a better pirate, he's replaced most of his body parts with hooks and wooden legs, just to make sure that he's the most piratey of all the pirates.
So he has multiple hooks and wooden legs?
Yeah, he's got two hands. He's got two hooks for hands. He's got both legs replaced by under the knee with wooden pegs. He's got a giant, one of those giant pirate hats on that comes out the side like this. He's got patches on. Yes, there's two feathers. There's a purple one and a red one, and he's got a patch on each eye, and the patch is crisscrossed like this, making an X across his face. The sailors snicker at him from behind his back. He's got a giant beard. He's got two pipes.
Captain.
So you found us our treasure, our salvage. He lifts one of the patch. He has both eyes, of course, but he lifts one of the patch. He winks like that.
Was there any doubt?
Well, the men they had a bet going on you, but I knew that you would bring it up. I knew you'd bring back the booty.
Such wisdom.
All right. He says, well then, we'll be putting into Santilla, you scurvy dogs. And you could spend your ill-gotten gains at any whorehouse you want.
Oh, my.
All the men go, yay! Mr. Shiny goes, he leans down to you.
So,
Captain Blix turns around.
About our cut, we probably... Your plans don't quite fit into our schedule.
Of course, you'll get your cut just like we agreed before you signed on with us. You've been with us long enough now, you should know the rules. It's true, you've been sailing with them for 3 or 4 missions.
Feels like it.
You've been expecting a little bit more gunplay, but they've been doing, as soon as they saw that Mr. Shiny could turn into a submarine, they've been doing salvage nonstop.
Okay. So... we could take our leave if we're coming to port.
Your leave? How do you mean? How do you mean? He spits out one of the wooden pipes spit out. Boom, boom, boom. It hits the floor. That was the smell you smelled, by the way. It was both pipes going off. He turns the other one.
I pick it up.
You're not both thinking of leaving, are you?
I pick it up and shake it. Go.
He
I'm just not sure if this is our...
You put it in his hook, he kind of bounces it, puts it back.
Okay, I kind of push it in. Go.
Gideon, tell them they cannot leave. They have to stay with us. They're very valued members of my crew.
What he said, value and, value.
Okay, Captain Blink kind of gives you a list of the
Gideon
other...
has not been paying attention. It's very obvious.
Lift the other one up. You're going to be working on your rhetoric, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
No, please. I've got a big mission lined up with the big dogs of the Crimson Moon.
The big ones.
There's not another salvage. Not another salvage. No. We'll put your guns to good use, lassie.
Well, what are we talking?
I'll get the details when we put into port. When we come to port, you come talk to me. I'll give you a couple extra coins. You go spend them however you two spend your coins.
Can I look at Shiny?
Mr. Shiny goes, he starts dancing.
We'll probably go dancing, yeah.
You know that Mr. Shiny likes to go to robot raves.
Yep.
Usually,
Yes.
usually raves that are put on by Jesus Sex Machina, the finest DJ of all of Gaia, and his MC Socrates 5000.
Oh my god!
Of course, any non-robotic character, any biological Gaian who hears Jesus Sex Machina's music, usually goes mad within 4 to 5 minutes. Gideon, you've written medical papers on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's an absolute travesty.
It's like the terrible effect of Jesus Sex Machina's crazy noise on the ears of actual biological beings in Gaia.
Music by robots for robots underlined.
Typically. They claim, apparently, there's a strange species of octopod floating octopus with hooks that's both cannibalistic and lays its young in other Gaizens. They're apparently the only other biological life form in Gaia, so you've heard, at Shard University, where you studied, that actually likes Jesus Sex Machina's music. But this is generally considered to be a myth.
Oh yeah. It's, hearsay.
Of course, it's poppycock. It's academic poppycock, which is what you said in your paper, and
Yes.
that's why you were kicked out of the Shard University. a terrible tale for another time.
Tale of sadness and woe.
Yeah.
Why is Gideon Why is Gideon an academic failure? Well, on this episode.
of Dr. Gaia Phil. Okay, all right. Okay, the ship sails across the beautiful sea. Poppy, however boring these missions have been, you've been quite happy at the temperature and the climate of the Jadam Sea area. It's gorgeous. There's always a full moon at night, a few full moons actually, with a beautiful canopy, a beautiful sky, and the days are always a perfect temperature, just not too hot, not too cool. Always a nice breeze off the ocean. Smells beautiful, and there's such a collection of flora and fauna in this area, more than most lands of Gaia. There's thousands of kinds of birds. There's thousands of kinds of plants and flowers, and they have exotic foods here, exotic different dishes, different kinds of thousands of kinds of subaquatic creatures. I think they call them fish that people eat here, and also plenty of merchants come through the merchant corridor to trade all this material back into the median and into the core lands as the merchants do. And of course, what you've been enjoying naturally is the BirBolz beer that is affluent here. BirBolz is in the Jadam Sea area, and it's considered to be the finest brewer of ales and beers in the entire in all of Gaia, pretty much. And so, being so close, it's relatively cheap here. Their brewery is across the ocean, across the sea, in another land that's adjacent to Jadam Sea. But there's quite a lot of it flowing through Sentila, so you've been enjoying it just a little bit too much, probably.
No, just almost not enough. So we can get more.
Indeed. You've been out drinking the sailors. They've been pretty impressed by your ability to put away ale. So you were doing salvage here in the north end, Jadam Sea North here. You see this trade route here between Dozingen and the four Bone Isles here. The four Bone Isles have a delicacy, kind of an Arctic octopus that they like to eat in Dozingen land. The Dozingen family likes to eat. They're a noble family. The Dozingens and the Enbergs are the two noble families that kind of dominate this area, along with, of course, the Resiborias, the Rysechs, and the Vicantias. There's a few other minor nobles. Because Jadam Sea is so nice, of course, a lot of nobles have moved in. And you're heading south to Sentila, which is right here, connected to the merchant corridor.
Naturally, yes, I know all of this stuff.
Yep, you're pretty familiar. I mean, people are not always very familiar with the cartography in Gaia, because it has such a strange cartography usually. But you're pretty familiar with this area. It's one of the larger in the median. It's a good 100, 200, 300, 400 kilometers wide, maybe 500 kilometers tall. Do the math, that many square, 10, a couple of, how many thousands of square kilometers in size. The horizon is usually pretty, fairly impressive with huge waterfalls. It's perfectly flat, and if you sail to the horizon, you get a very beautiful glimpse of stars before you crash into the horizon and die. So typically ships don't do that.
Typically,
Okay, so you head south. All right. So a few days pass. You put into Sentila. You can smell the fish. You can hear the crying of the birds. Sentila is... I'll share another map.
It's so mappy today.
As I said, Sentila is the major free city of the area. You put here in the merchant docks, which you're renting a space from. When you're on salvage, you can put in the merchant docks. The Crimson Moon usually is not allowed to put in it in Sentila for obvious reasons. Although you have your doubts, Gideon, as to whether Captain Blynk is even a member of the Crimson Moon. If he is, he must be a very junior member anyway.
Say it isn't so. I don't believe it.
Of course he is. What are you talking about?
And so there's three main tap houses in Sentila. There's the Scurvy Dog in the north, which is usually more frequented by the sailors and the docks people who work the Dozingen dock and craftsmen. Some merchants, because the Gaia market is on the very far east end of town here. The merchants come in this road. Usually they come into the market and they come down this road. There's the Sea Goddess Inn, which is off of the Sentila market. It's right by the Patches Strait, which is more of the noble quarter. And so both these areas are fairly more affluent. And then the Bones and Broth is the slum tap house. There's usually 2 or 3 people killed a night.
Awesome.
And it's considered Crimson Moon turf. You would think that Captain Blynk would probably wet his whistle down there, but he never has, to your knowledge.
No.
As far as you know, people of your ship either go to the Sea Goddess Inn if they've got a little bit more coin, because it's a bit richer, but it's a bit nicer. You can get BirBolz there. Or they head over to the Scurvy Dog. Which ones do you guys feel like drinking at tonight?
Let me check my purse.
Gideon's definitely going for the Scurvy Dog. Not up for paying the big bucks,
So in Sentila, they do trade gold coins.
Oh, they do.
That's their primary currency here, gold, silver, and copper coins. As it just so happens, Poppy, you've earned yourself 57 gold coins so far.
Well.
Gideon, as doctor, you've earned yourself 8 gold coins so far.
Great, making big bucks.
But that also that comes along with 15 silver pieces. Blynk, you are in the promised land with your god. You are being bathed in the white light that is Kareh.
Beautiful.
You are without form and substance. You exist with all the 44 as an energy being. The god speaks unto you. Blynk, I have a task for thee.
Sounds fun.
Oh, great. Okay. You must go onto the Jadam Sea. You must meet the gunslinger named Poppy.
Gotcha.
She is important to the plan of Gaia.
Are you sure?
I am the almighty Kareh. I am very sure.
Poppy somewhere in the distance, like...
Nobody asks if I'm sure or not.
What if she doesn't like me?
She will like you just fine.
All right, send me over.
Mom, of course she's going to like you. Mom, I got to get better followers in here. You know how difficult it is to teleport people from afar using your brain? Okay, never mind. Sorry. Yes, I am the great and mighty Kareh.
Yes, sir.
Well. Poppy is going to be instrumental in the coming days, which will be the apocalypse and destruction of Gaia.
Ooh, that's really fun.
I'm gonna do what now?
Apocalypse.
I like how we're just going right on the table. So the world's gonna end, guys. Good luck.
Don't worry, I'm on it. Let's go drink.
Okay, Poppy, where do you decide to go drink?
Do they take core credits here at the fancy place?
Yes, the Sea Goddess Inn does, but they offer a 66% markup on trading core credits.
That seems hardly fair.
Sadly, you're very far from the core, but Centilla is a rich enough city, and because BirBolz travels through here, they do have the occasional pad. It's like cracked, it's broken, it's sitting on there's unrecognizable liquid has been spilled on it at some point, and you can use it to get core credits and buy stuff there.
Okay, for the forgive me for saying crappier place, what's 57 gold pieces going to get me?
Oh, at the Scurvy Dog?
Sure.
Anything you want.
That's where the rest of
57 gold credits, gold coins. 57 gold coins, you could probably buy the place.
Shiny, we should buy a bar.
Ooh.
Yeah, you could dance every night. And we could procure things from people.
She starts lifting up his pockets. You put stuff in, like all the different stuff you procured. There's shoes here. There's some gold coins here.
I forgot about those. Oh, hey.
There's a brawn one.
Yeah, keep that there.
It's okay, Gideon. You're subject to this.
It's my special bra. Shh.
Little hearts come out. Little heart holograms go. Bloop, bloop, bloop,
That's right. That's for the special nights when we go out.
Yeah, Gideon has heard that, or can hear this, but can't hear what the items are until he hears. That's my special bra.
You smell a bra laced with perfume and humanoid musk.
Relatively unfazed. Gideon is.
I don't get frothy.
No. Gideon is okay. Until that comment, I guess. Relatively unfazed. But is waiting a little bit for the rest of the crew, but kind of like a nonchalant, like, he just happens to be hanging out and leaving at the same time as everyone else. It has nothing to do with, the rest of the crew is going. So of course, nothing. It's just Gideon just wants to go right now. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Yeah. You just happen to want to go drink at the same bar everyone else is.
Yeah.
Because you do.
Okay, Poppy goes up to Gideon and puts her arm through his arm and says, "Now, doctor, let's go have a discussion about the effects of beer on the humanoid frame and guy skins. I don't want Poppy to be getting in trouble for taking coins. So I gotta quiet the doctor."
Okay.
Right.
All right, you hear the captain. Arr, all right, mateys, you go have yourself some fun tonight, but be back by dawn, because we have a very important mission from the Crimson Moon. Arr.
Now you're gonna meet us at the bar and tell us what that mission is.
Arr, of course. Which bar are you going to?
What bar are we going to, Gideon?
The Scurvy Dog, I do believe, is our bar.
Me and my best friend, we're off to the Scurvy Dog. Come on.
All right, Kareh says to you, Blynk. They're going to this. Make up your minds, mortals. Okay. All right. Are you sure? That's where they're going. Are you? Mortals. All right. They're going to the Scurvy Dog. I will send you there now.
Yay.
I will warn you, Blynk. My servant, my avatar. It is somewhat of a den of ill repute. Try not to die. Can you teleport?
Yes.
All right, you become material flesh. You're in Centilla. You're hit by the beautiful salt smell of the sea. You can hear seagulls cawing overhead. There's beautiful palm trees. It's a very pleasant temperature. The atmospheric pressure is just perfect. Not like some lands in Gaia, which are uninhabitable, but some are quite nice. This is one of the nicest. You can see why people would definitely want to live here.
Pretty.
And you're standing outside the Scurvy Dog. You see there's one guy sitting there. Did I just see you appear out of thin air?
That you did, and I'll walk in.
Aren't you supposed to say no to that? There. Why do they put in this stuff?
Really
okay,
good.
you walk in. All right. Gideon, Poppy, and Mr. Shiny. You make your way through the north of Centilla. You see people are putting in for the night as the suns are going down and the moons are coming up. The beautiful, picturesque silver moons that seem to irradiate Centilla almost brightly enough in a silver light that you barely need torches and you barely need lanterns. You hear the music of some bard singing. There's kind of like... It's very lively kind of music. Gideon, you stop. You're like...
Yay, fiddle-dee-dee music, my favorite.
I've heard this somewhere before.
Gideon is just pissed for no reason now.
The GM has one MP3 in his head for fiddly dee bar music, and he sings it again and again. All right. So the Scurvy Dog is a very simple establishment, and it's jam-packed full of people. There's got to be like 80 people in here right now. All the sailors are going, arr. There's booths over here which have curtains, which are a little bit more secluded. You see Captain Blynk hobble his way over there, opens a curtain. You see some people in there, lit, dimly looked, vile people and mysterious people, dimly lit by a candle. They see him. They kind of look past him to see if no one's watching. He goes in and they close the curtain very quickly behind him.
Okay, I'm still holding
some people.
Gideon's arm. I say to Shiny, we should know what's going on in there. Yeah, with your ear holes.
Okay, Mr. Shiny, his face was turns a big like thing opens up. He starts listening.
I'm already in there, right?
Yes, you see these people walk in. The god speaks to you. Yes, that is her.
Okay.
Observe her curved feminine figure. Her ample
I will take a nice long look.
No. The ones on her hips, he says. Not those guns, the ones on her hips.
Feeling a little odd. Don't know what's going on.
Yes, you feel like the divine is focusing on you. You feel a slight buzzing in your body.
Do you ever feel like you just need a drink, doctor? Okay, drag Gideon to the bar.
Do you ever feel that way, Gideon?
Yes, a lot. Gideon just nods. Yes,
now,
but
let's
also
see how mean fate is going to be, given that Gideon is a cyborg. Can Gideon consume alcohol, and can Gideon get drunk?
Probably not. But let's see.
Probably
drinks.
not. So there's a 20% chance you can get drunk. How about that?
All right,
Shiny
yeah.
drinks.
And we're
All right.
43. Sorry, doctor. You cannot get drunk.
No,
Can't
I
get
think
drunk. Well, that's a challenge I'm willing to accept. We need 15 steins of beer.
Why not just order a keg at that point?
just we're pulling
I'm
a barrel.
a lady.
Just a barrel from the back.
We're gonna put a straw in it. Oh.
Okay.
I went up to the bar.
The barmaid is not a maid. The bar madam. She looks in desperate need of a Gaia pod. She's got old gray hair, bits of her coming down. She's got kind of a kerchief on her head. She's got 3 teeth in her mouth. She goes, what? Beers? Yes, of course. We'll get you your beers.
Beer, the bolt one.
The BirBolz.
Balls, bolt.
We just got another shipment in. You're lucky, lass.
I feel lucky.
She pulls up a barrel. She's a tiny little thing. She picks up the barrel, puts it right on the counter. You're like,
Nice.
Mr. Shiny goes, ooh.
Supposed to be listening, Shiny. Shh.
Pour your
Subtly.
I will say that Gideon is also listening because he can.
He's doing it subtly. Okay, you can hear talking in there.
Do I still have the earphone to listen to what Shiny's listening to?
Sure. Okay, you can put it in your ear.
That plugged into him? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You pull a little earbud out of him. You're like, boop. Put it in your ear. Okay. You hear like, and he shoots. He scores. Yeah.
Wrong channel, Shiny.
Okay. You hear the conversation. You can hear, yes, sir. Very well. Okay. You can hear them talking in there. Okay. The bar proprietress says, pour your own. Here's some mugs. She goes, spits in one, wipes it out. Boom, she puts it down. She puts in a bunch of mugs.
Okay, I give the spit in one. Let's push that one down the table. And I take 2 that are clean.
Take Gideon, you take it.
Gideon probably doesn't care.
Okie dokie. Okay, I don't know if I can actually lift a...
There's a tap. All you have to do is just turn it on.
Oh, good. Okay. Less likely to spill it then. Okay.
Okay, one of the sailors comes up. Poppy, you got us some BirBolz. He's one of the ones in your crew. I remember when I said that, we should do it, and you told me to go to hell. Well, now I can have some beer, right?
Oh my god.
Mr. Shiny goes, he goes, he flies about 10 feet. The pirates, he hits some pirates. They go, they laugh. They throw him. They start tossing him around. He goes, I just wanted some BirBolz. I didn't mean to.
So anyways, Doctor, Poppy turns her back. Sorry, Poppy's going to turn her back to the bar to keep an eye on the rest of the tavern.
A wise precaution, +1.
Gideon is facing the bar and has definitely already downed that stein, whatever. I don't remember what we said it was. A mug?
They're made of wood, most of them. A couple are made of glass, some are ceramic. It's just an odd mismatch of goods that have come from the merchant corridor.
Yeah. So, Gideon has already definitely polished off one of those, which, you can't get drunk, but maybe you just wishful thinking.
Okay, you toss your goat head back with your weird goat eyes that don't work. They look glassy, covered with white. They look kind of up. You're like, and your tongue kind of hangs out the side. You put it down. Your cyborg body processes it. You're like, very good construction.
Okay, fill it up. So
are you drunk? No.
I'm working on it. Give me a second. So, Doctor, about those amazing ears you have. How much do you hear around the ship?
Enough. If you're looking for information, I don't think I would be the one that you should be coming to. But I do think that's not exactly what you're coming for, is it?
I'm just saying that we're a team, but at the end of the day, everyone's kind of out for themselves. And Shiny and I work hard.
You think that I care enough to tell the captain about your little extras? Is that what you're getting at here, Poppy?
That's what I'm trying to ascertain, truth be told.
Mr. Shiny is still listening to the conversation.
Did anything interesting happen?
Okay. And then we got the salvage. We found 10 million gold pieces.
Is that like an obvious exaggeration?
Yes. It would have to be an oil tanker full of gold pieces if it was 10 million gold pieces. All the other D&D ventures aside of what you're carrying in your bag.
That's a lot. Yeah.
All right, Kareh says to you, Blynk, all right, I will create a scenario in which you will befriend her. Prepare yourself.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, one of the sailors is sitting there drinking. He goes, he kind of walks over and says, sex me you now, and tries to grow Poppy.
All right,
What
Blynk
the
will
heck?
walk over and tip his drink so it goes in his face.
Okay, he goes, it burns, it burns, I'm melting. He falls on the ground. Then he wakes up, he's like, what in the fuck?
Greet Poppy and say, well, you seem popular.
Was the pun intended? Because it was +1.
Yeah, okay, just drink some more. That was...
Quick, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Blynk with a Y. Would you like me to buy you a drink?
Yes. Okay, I just push over my still full thing. Shiny, watch this.
Okay, what does Blynk look like?
Lime green skin, so a little toxic to look at, but white bobbed hair, kind of frizzy, and yellow cat-like eyes. So they're not like full cat, and they're an androgyne, so not discernibly male or female.
Yeah, drink, sure. The doctor hasn't offered to buy me a drink, so I just try to push Gideon over a bit. I can't. I'm not very strong. Why don't you take this chair?
Money, so I'll probably end up dining and dashing this. Not saying that aloud, just
Okay.
for the GM's knowledge.
Kareh says, that is fine.
God says it's okay.
Kareh says,
Drinking.
wait a minute. It's time for my sausages. Hold on.
Enjoy. But I accidentally say that one out loud.
I will when you buy it.
Oh, I'll grab a stein off of the table and give it to her.
Okay.
Let's roll.
This one stays there. You just grab it. He goes, hey, I was drinking that. You just, me. Okay, you put it down. Clunk.
I'll
Okay,
drink
the strange android with the frizzy hair smiles.
Cheers. Okay. This is
Okay, you see the curtain in the back room opens up, and you see two men walk out. They almost look identical. They have shaved heads, white skin, black leather. They have blue hands. They walk out. They turn. You're hearing in your earpiece from Mr. Shiny. Yes, Captain Blynk. One says. The other one says, do not disappoint us in this mission. We will be quite upset. And then they turn and they walk out. The Captain Blink's like, okay, all right, now don't worry. I'll, yes, okay, sure.
Zoot, we are in trouble. Guys,